I am sitting here with Nosiviwe Matikinca, a 22-year-old, probably turning 23 this year,
Yeah.
student from Nelson Mandela University. She studies visual arts, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her background, where she comes from, who her parents are, and how was your upbringing generally. Welcome, Nosiviwe.
Thank you. um, okay. So I was born in Cape Town. But then 2 days after, my mama wabuyela Hermanas, which is a small town that is like I think an hour from Cape Town. So I stayed there, started school. Gqeberha. It's a very small town. Like everyone knows everyone. It's a beautiful town. Um, so growing up, I was living with my mom because my dad got married, but they were separate, but they were sort of like co-parenting. Then I would visit them Ikapa from time to time. So my mom, she's a creative herself. She's a busybody. She's a curious person. I think I got that from her. So whenever tourists or people from other places would come and give a workshop pa Hermanas, my mom would enroll herself kulonto. So sometimes that place was called the RDP. I don't know why. But so weekends is workshops abuye. So it was like she was going to school. So she would come back, then she had to finish something, yabo. So she would come back with like boxes and bags full of stuff, and then she's making something. And then I would, as by essence, the day I can I would take the box yak and I would also make something. So tabu ba and then she would bring two boxes, one for her and one for me. So I had a collection, like a lot of things. So I would make like mosaics, I would make dresses, I used to make everything, a lot of things. So even my teachers, Miss Abuzba, ufuna into xa umdala, yabo. So other kids would be like, ufuna ngugqirha, ndifuna ngunesi, ndifuna ipolisa and stuff. I would just say, ba, ndifuna uzoba imini yonke. Like, I just want to draw. Give me something, let me make something. So people didn't understand what I was talking about. So the Kule Ninja, being that one child, that the odd one out, like I was just different. Yeah, well, I don't like, I'm trying to find a band, I'm trying to compare. I would rather take the path that others don't take. Yeah. So primary school was like that, like we were schooling in Dizobe and all those things. Just make anything, wire cars, wire bicycles, anything that I can use my hands in my creativity, I would do that. And I remember when I moved to Cape Town, I think 2011, when I went to live with my father, and on Valentine's Day or if it's someone's birthday, I would make the card myself. I would decorate it. I didn't like buying things. I would rather make it. So I would give my stepmom these cards and my sisters, brother and stuff. So for high school, there was a high school aim which was playing because I'm from that corner. Like just cross indlela. It's like just a walk from my primary. Then people were like, okay, you are grade 7 now. You guys have to apply for high school. Then I was like, okay, so because I'm just playing is going to pass no 12:30 on Fridays. So that's enough time before I transport me fika at 2 or 1:30. So I went there and I got the application form. And I asked, okay, how do we get into the school? It's an art school. It's an arts and culture school. Then they were like, you come and then you draw something. Or if you're a drama, you're going to act out a piece or whatever. So that's Bali Sapana. So it kind of an application form ba nasa school. So there are two schools, Kapa, like Krizani, then Bayisida. So Mama wants to know if I'm going to So that day, I figured I was drawing a shoe. I drew the shoe and everyone was drawing something else. We drew whatever ona yapako. Ndangena ke ngoku eSida High School of the Arts. Ndafunda phana grade 8, grade 8, 9 and 10, yes. But to grade 10 andamgqiba because my mom had a car accident, I think the year before that. But even when she's not good, but what you can go back to Cape Town, the school, I will manage. So wabahlala sister omncinci. But then as one demand your visitor, I can see but she's not managing, she's not coping. So go June in grade 10 I left school. Left Cape Town to go and be with my mom. So she tried to get on from my school. but then I can't was, because at the time, isikolo, the school that was available, school says Xhosa, and then I've been learning Afrikaans like from grade 5 until grade 10. So she was like, she didn't think that I could actually be able to, you know, take that. So ndahlala ke ngoku that year ndingafundi, so I went to look for a job, and I was actually that child that would work on school holidays. I got my first job at 15, so I want to do something. I can't sit and do nothing. So andaphangela ke from June until December. Then eventually wambhalisa kwelaa sikolo esi becinga uba andizolunga kuso. So ndafunda kwelaa sikolo ke ngoku ugrade 10. So I had to repeat grade 10. From grade 10 to grade 11. Then for grade 12, I got, okay, so that school is a full academic school. There's no art. And because I wanted to do art, I asked around, where can I do extramural activities, or do you know an art center around? Then I was introduced to Enlighten. They have like a library and stuff. It's like a community center. So there's an art teacher there, or Ashley. She's a Zimbabwean artist. So she was giving classes. So grade 10 and 11, I would come esikoleni ndibeka nje ubhaka ekhaya and I'm off. So we would just create work, and then we would get food and just stay there. Just put my 4 or 5 when we were done. So then when I figure ekhaya ke ngoku uniform. So I was with other guys from Israeli primary. I think I was the oldest in the group. This is high school. Then others joined, along the way. So Ashley came up with this initiative. There's a high school there, Manas High School, and they have visual arts as a school subject. So what Ashley did, she spoke to the teachers, the director by Enlighten. So they had this project where now we no longer go to her for the afternoon classes, but we went to the high school, and we created works there. Plus, that take visual art also as an extramural activity. Then simase attenda ke sibuye esikoleni umem wethu umem Matibedi asilayishe emotweni asise-Hermanus High. Then aphinde ayosiphika up. So the teachers there, Miss Vivian no Jandre, they are the teachers there. And then this one day Miss Mitchley asked me about how would you like to do visual arts and design as a school subject in the art school. I was like, I would love that. Then she was like, okay, I will speak to Genre and we'll organize something. And that was that. And I was like, okay. Then she got back to me and she said, okay, we've raised some funds, and then we would like to give you like a scholarship or bursary to actually study at Northcliffe House College. So they say they're gonna pay for everything. I was like, whoa.
That's great.
I literally did not. I think I have like a delayed reaction type of thing. At that moment, I was like, okay. But when I got home, I was like, girl, this is big, So I told my mom, and then she was so happy, But unfortunately, my mom, because now that car accident was her second one, and then like she does not bleed, uphela ngaphakathi. Then now she can't operate because igolqala left. So the doctors fear that if they take out lamahlwili, that maybe her blood supply might stop and then she might die on the table. So now she will never be able to work again. So my mom has been living off in Sasa grant, mine and my sister's. So then when I went to Sasol, it's actually a private school, and like very few people go there because for grade 12 West Kolosonge we were only 14. So financially that year was really challenging, because now my mom had to pay for the transport. She had now to give, like she just had a lot of things to pay, even though the school fees and everything else is taken care of, but still she couldn't manage. So yeah, it was a really tough year for me. It was grade 12. There was just a lot going on, but one thing I do is that I always choose my books over everything. I don't know why, but I always, if
Probably the best choice because I mean uyathetheleka umuntu opasayo as
yes,
opposed to umuntu that say is needy but you akapasi,
yeah,
and
yeah.
But I want to take you back again to your mom. What would you, other than art, or what are these attributes that characterize who your mom is?
Um,
And I know my tree is just falling. It
I
was
know
like a
it's
snowing
fine. Yeah, it's like snowflakes.
snowflakes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I think okay. So I look like my dad. So I think my soft side or my quietness or humbleness and stuff, I get it from my mom, because like she's very down to earth. She's very motherling. I don't know how to put it, but um, she also, I think, if she had been able to like to go to school and further her studies, whatever, I think maybe she would do social work, nurse. So because she's a community person, like she's la ngula meza, if there's something guye for the ambulance, guye for the fire brigade, guye for the police, people go to her. If like there's a letter kamasipala understand you, they go to my mom. My mom goes with them. So she is that person in the community where abantu abaninzi they know, but they can go to her abancedise ngento. Yabo, if they're applying for umsebenzi uzoba fill form, applying for a grant, applying, like she's that person that is just there. Yabo, so I think that's where I got that other, like in my character. What else? Okay, so I'm also like a Cancerian. I'm a Cancer, so I feel like as people about the star sign, they are just family orientated. They are just friendly and stuff like that. Because I help people like whenever I can. Like I used to volunteer as well at the children's home and stuff like that. If there's a cleanup going on, I would take part in that. So
And even the first time I met you, you were actually serving us.
yes,
Which
yes.
was great.
I
And it was
just
shortly after you won the
yes.
coveted, the new signature, the
The
Sasol new
award,
signature
yes, 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 yes.
competition. And I want you to basically lead us into
Into
that.
that, yes.
So it didn't really start at Nelson Mandela University. You
No,
really had some strong preparation prior to getting to Nelson Mandela
yes,
University, even
yeah,
though it's a good university for art. Yes.
yes. So my mom is like that, but then, so at grade 12, so then COVID hit. We didn't go to school. We closed for Easter's and then we didn't go back. So now we're preparing for June exams and everything. And I just went into my books because I felt like I don't like it when I can't control things. So I always focus on the thing that I can control and leave out everything else. So my home situation, my mom struggling with the funds and everything, I just buried myself in my books. Then we it was time to write our prelims. Wrote the prelims, and then there was actually a week between a prelims and a final. I just went into my books. I went into my books. I studied, just buried myself there. Then on the day of the results, I was so calm. I was not panicking. It was just a normal day to me. And then at 12 o'clock, we went to school to fetch our statements. And then our principal, because now we are few, so he gave a few speeches, spoke about each learner and everything. And she was like, okay, so this girl, Nosiviwe, she joins us this year from Ekaiya, and she actually got herself a bachelor and a distinction. I was like, hold up, what? And I was curious to know a distinction from which subject. But I was betting on business studies because I'm very good with essays and everything, but I'm not good with numbers and we're not friends. So yeah, so I was like, okay, it must be visual studies. So I checked my statement and it's visual arts. And then I almost got another one for design. So I was like, so lento bendizele apha yile ndiphume
Yes.
net distinction. Yeah, you understand.
Yes.
I was so happy, like I don't know, I was so happy because it finally paid off. And then applied for varsity. I applied at UWC, and I applied NMU. AWC I applied for psychology, and then they actually accepted me for the program. But then I I knew no, I'm not gonna study that. Then NMU and accepted, and then I went to NMU. Figure here in 2021. I stayed in Ezwiti because I didn't have e-res at the moment, so I used to use e-taxi, Koleka Kulka 2 and stuff like that. NMU, we have we have the greatest lecturers. That's what I can say. They are the best. Like you don't feel like you're at school, you feel like you are at home. We are a family. Like in Boneka, they are literally gonna help you to set up. Like whatever you need, just tell them. Then they come in and mark as if they don't know what you actually
What you
did.
did.
You understand?
Mm.
And it's like magisha, but magisha because they know you. They marking what you actually, what you see. So in first year, we did a lot of things. I did printmaking, I did painting, I did fashion, I did sculpture. Then in second year, I did printmaking and sculpture. Then in third year, I chose sculpture. So I think the reason why I chose sculpture is because I like to work with my hands. Than I'm not big on drawing. Like I would get people saying, "Can you do my portrait?" I'm like, "No, I don't do portraits," because I can't sit still and focus on one thing. I want to be busy, I want to be busy. I would say I consider myself as a multimedia artist because I don't like working with one material. I'm curious. I want to see if I can put this nalena or what's going to come out. I don't like to bottle myself in one line of material. You understand? So now it was time for Sasol submissions. Then, so in third year, you didn't get a lot of briefs. You just got one brief, and you're gonna use that for the whole year. So you choose what you're working on, and that's what you're gonna work on for the whole year. But you had submission dates. Okay, that means if no one progress, then yes. So I think it was around May, we just came back from me. I think it was a short holiday there. Then our lecturers were like, okay, so for your IDS is a module, Pagwe BVA, that teaches us more about the admin side of artists, like your invoices, your paperwork, everything that's admin related. That's what you learn. That's what you learn in IDS. So we get these forms. Sasol competition is like it's a requirement. It was a requirement for us to submit. I didn't know about the competition. It was not even something I knew about. Like I would hear people talk about it in J department, but yo Sasol, but I didn't really diaz. So now busy. I'm going to submit. Then I think it was in August. Yeah, I think it was in August. We got emails that we are in the final. And then I think in June on my birthday, my phone was taken, was grabbed. So now I lost my phone. I was just going through a lot, and then we came back from the June holiday, and then got the email. You are a finalist. Congratulations! And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. But I told everyone, okay, I'm a finalist, and I was happy. But I was like, okay, you know. So now, for the second round, when you get the other email that says you're a finalist, you're not supposed to tell anyone. You understand? So now you're like playing this game where like you have to guess who else is in the final, but they're not saying so. So
You want
it's just crazy. Like I'm so happy, but I can't share it. I didn't even tell my family. Like I just kept it to myself. So now it's the day that we Oh, okay. So when I was marked, I actually lost my ID as well. I lost everything. So I had to start over. My lecturer, Isabel, who I believe is God sent, she went with me to the police station to get an affidavit so that to say I lost my ID, but I can book flights and everything. So I had to get my birth certificate, and then she actually went with me to the airport to book to double check with Flights Affair if I can actually get a ticket without my ID. So I had to carry my birth certificate with me all the time. So the flights were booked, everything was sorted out, and then we left very early in the morning. It was raining here in PE, and then when we got to Pretoria, it was hot. Everyone was wearing vests, dresses. Tina, sifumbele. I had layers. I had my yellow jersey, which is the one there. Then
yes,
I
the
had my
yellow one.
jacket apakum because by kuneta. We literally wanted to change. We actually went to Pick and Pay clothing and we bought it a low quote just to change because go yeah well. And I was like, no ways, like it's launchy. Like this is not
Yeah,
it. Like
Pretoria sun can,
you know,
it feels like it's
it's
leaning on you
it's
like that.
blazing hot there. And I'm like,
Yeah,
make it
it's
make
dry
sense,
there.
So we got there. We did the interviews. So we picked up from the airport. We got the interviews done, the videos and everything, the photos. standing next to your work, talking about your work, Then, so now the shoes. The concept, so I wanted to speak about educational inequality, you know, and that was inspired the fact that, so I do have family and friends ezwithin kwaZakhele. So xa as I'm driving to the house, I would see kids like abanye, you can see, but at home they're not financially well off. So inform umntana iyabonakala, nesihlangu zomntana ziyabonakala. But then when you get to Summerstrand, you see abantwana say Cape Recife, and like everything is in order, everything is good. And you look at the sports field, like the conditions of the school as fine, but they're in the same city, same town. So I was like, I wanted to bring a message that out there's a child who doesn't have a pair of shoes. Like abanye mhlawumbe banxiba iteki, abanye banxibe like not school shoes because they can't afford to have like izihlangu zesikole. So now I was also tackling the eco-friendly topic as well, because I wanted to create an artwork that is not going to be bad for the environment, because I am a green person. So I was like, okay, let me just collect shoes, and then from there I can create this installation. Then I'll see what else I can do. Started walking around, writing on my WhatsApp status, on Facebook, school group, in the Facebook page of the school. But okay, if you guys have any old pairs of shoes, please drop them off at the department. Just say for Nosiviwe and stuff like that. I would go to a a weekend. I would knock on people's doors. Cela izihlangu ezindala zesikolo and all those things. This fumane kwabanye kwabanye ngazifumani, yabo. And then there was this girl who said, asinazo izihlangu ezindala esingazisebenzisiyo, because izihlangu ezisebenzisayo like izihlangu ekufuneka zezi zizinxibayo. And when I looked at the shoes, I was like, they're, like, no one's supposed to wear izihlangu ezinjeya. No one, like, it's not nice. It's not good. You understand? So I was like, okay. So when I didn't reach the number I wanted, because I wanted like 20 to 30 pairs, and at the time, submission date yami yasondela, and I'm only on 15, and I was like, okay, what can I do? So when I spoke to my lecturer about my concept, she was like, okay, let's see how many shoes you can collect on this day. If you don't get this number, then we're gonna have to find another solution, because she liked my concept. Then the day came and the number was not, was not made.
Numbering.
So yeah, it was not numbering. So she asked me, why don't we make the shoes? And I was confused. I was like, what do you mean make the shoes? She was like, no, we create a mold, and then we just start making a lot of shoes. I didn't even know that's a thing. Like you could make shoes out of clay. I didn't even know about the clay until I saw it, which is slip. So it's clay, but it's in liquid. So it's the one that people in the olden days they would use it to make the porcelain figures, the statues,
Oh, yes,
the one
yes.
that you use for plates and cups and stuff. Yes. So she was like, no, we can make the shoes. And then we spoke to the ceramics lecturer, and he was like, yes, it's possible. So, but now the mold that we were making was a sculptural mold. So you could repeatedly use it. You understand? Because it was confusing, because molds this sculpture, usually you destroy them, you don't use them again. You make them for just for once. Then the ceramics one, you use it repeatedly to create something. So now we took one pair, then we made a mold of that. That process is so long. Like, I'm a very impatient person, and I was like, I can't do this. And she was like, you're gonna have to do it. And Ekaya, they always tell us that, but are we as we. So I was like, okay, sure. We made the mold, and I learned a lot, because if the weather is not hot, the slip does not settle well inside the mold. So it needs heat. But if I shoes, it's not gonna work. So sometimes weather, it may be coming for 3 days. that means I'm just
Can't do anything. Yeah.
and I can't do anything about it. So I learned a lot of patience with that project. So you make the mold, and then you pour the slip into it. You leave it for like a minute, and its thickness yayo is determined on how long you leave it for in the sun. So if you want it to be really thick, you leave it for like 5 minutes. But if you want it to be thin, like how my shoes are thin, you leave it for a minute. Even 30 seconds is long enough. And then you pour it out again, and then you just draw a line so that it doesn't attach itself to the mold. Like you have a point where when you open, then the shoes, like they come out of the mold. Kakuhle, yeah. Then we did that process, and then now the shoes, you have to, when you open the mold, isihlangu sesikhona ke ngoku, you clean it up, like you remove any unwanted things. And then what I love is that at that moment you can do anything you want with the shoe. You can open it up, you can tear it, you can anything. So that's the fun part. So you do that. I think you would notice on one of the shoes there's a shoe that's like open like that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I took a paper pan and I rolled it, and then that's full, and then I just put it there. Yeah, tighter that
That
shape. Yes.
Mm.
And then I wanted to make them zibukeke zindala nyana, like used. Bomba there's the second to see, you know. So now Sasol is approaching. The shoes are not shoeing, they are connecting. And then I think I had like, yeah, it's the pairs days, 5 of them. And then on Monday, we're supposed to take the shoes to Bird Street. On Friday, those shoes traumatized me. Those shoes are so fragile that siyophuka ngondisikilinayo, or sophuke phaka oven, or sophuke usishifta nje from here to there. I cried. I don't know how many times I died last year.
Was it because they are so
They
thin
are
that you should
so,
have left them a little bit longer? 5
yeah,
minutes
but
perhaps?
also it also takes away from the concept, because the
Yes.
fragility is what
It's
adds
part
to
of
it.
the,
Because
oh,
this
yes, yes.
topic is a very fragile topic. People like to, they don't really like to talk about it.
It
So,
exposes you. It basically shows that whether someone does not have the ability to care for you, or that you do not have anyone designated for your development,
true.
and that you are perhaps destitute,
Yeah.
and you feel that in the world of material, you basically do not have.
Yes.
And
So,
nobody wants to talk about that. It's a
nah.
light that shines.
You
And
know
it
how
also talks about other people around you.
yeah. You know how our communities are. There are certain topics or things that you just don't talk about. Yeah, well, yeah, like, So for me, that's what I wanted to bring. Like, there's just a child out there who does not have a pair of shoes, or unxibe isihlangu azinikwe ngonye umntu. You understand? Mhlambe unekhazini egqiba grade 12, then uzonxibela ihlangu yena, yabo. So as we were talking with my lecturer, omnye wathi bana she used to see people, omnye namhlanje unxibe esise left, omnye unxibe esise right, so umntu ahambe isihlangu esiyi-one. So I was like, okay, so now my concept is building up. So isihlangu ziyophuka. So on that Friday, bazizoya kwi-oven. I call the oven, it's called the kiln, but I say it's oven because that's where we bake them. So you fire them. So and is mover, one shoe broke. Monday I'm submitting esihlangu ziyophungula hlanu. I think it was 1 or 2. Go for siyagoduka. I literally stood there for like 5 minutes and I just cried. But then I just took the mold, bopa, because I'm casting another shoe.
Yes.
And it's gonna be fired in Gogosi Mans. Like, yeah.
Let's just go.
Let's just go. So I decided this is Shagu, and then that's the soccer ceramics. And then they were fired. Kanbuya Monday, that's gonna faka manganese oxide. So I wanted an oxide ezazenza zibukeke zindala nyana. Yabo. So it's actually
Is it what makes them white or black?
The
The
oxide.
shades of. I'm trying to think what the oxide. What would be the color of oxide? Is it the white?
No, the oxide
sort
is
of dust
the
or
oxide is black.
black.
Yes,
Okay.
black. Then
Ngumsi.
yeah, ngathi ngumsizi.
Umsizi, yes, that's
Yes,
what I'm thinking.
ngathi
Okay.
ngumsizi. Then you mix it namanzi. So sometimes if you apply like how you apply it will determine on how it's gonna look. Sometimes if I cool, then it's gonna darken the shoe. Then if you flag a light, then it's just gonna sit on the shoe. So now when you apply the oxide, you always have like to have your your gloves on because it's bad for your skin. If you lose it for a long time, then you start to get some skin problems. So oxide you apply it, and then touch the sponge can go. It's namanzi usule can go. Then whatever engasulekanga will stay there, and then it will make the shoe look really old. Yeah. So the submit again. So now after submitting it, we get an announcement that Gqeberha uchuzwa, so you must go and collect your work. The day we went there, I didn't even go and check on my work because I didn't tell myself bah it's selective. I don't know. People say bah this jungle pants or I don't believe in myself. But for me it was just like I don't know, man. I just that's a bit of J so I can get in my cam. When
But your work,
you just want your mark, like you know you were younger. So we get to Birth Street, and then I literally went to the other side, and I'm looking because I didn't get the time to see people's work because I forgot we're not supposed, we're not allowed to walk around and view the work. So now I'm just excited. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just because those works were nice. Like people are talented out here, you know. So I'm seeing these green stickers and these red stickers, and I'm like, okay, because going on there, I'm stickers, that means your work is sold. That's what I know. So my lecturer, my painting lecturer, comes and says, "Congratulations," and I'm like, it's just like your work is selected. I was like, oh. Yeah, it has a green sticker. I was like, oh, that's what that means. I thought it's sold. So now that's only when I went to that side to go and look at my work, and I was like, oh, I saw a green sticker there. Okay, sure. So it was actually one of the, I think, 20 works, if I'm not mistaken, that was selected from Apipai. Yes. So now I had to go in during the week to go and package it. So that it's going to be moved to Pretoria. And then you had to take pictures and send to them of how you want the work to be displayed. And I didn't know. I just had my work like straight, but then I just wish and that was good.
so were they sitting there on the floor?
Epe Street. No, Epe Street, they were on podiums.
Oh,
Epe
okay,
Street.
okay. Because
Yeah,
also seeing the shoes on the floor, on that
on
white
that
sort of,
white thingy, yeah.
it also makes you feel like you just left your shoes there, and
Yes, yes.
instead of mounting them
That's what
somewhere on the wall.
Kate Nandi said that the work should not be on podiums. I should get like something a flatter or a smaller thing to make it seem like
Yes,
you know yeah ngathi
brilliant
or it's
to,
just as bekiwe, you
yes.
know. So now we had to find that podium. Then Jono from Press was kind enough to lend us that one. Then now Unandi Uti, I can't put these shoes like straight or shop. Play around and see. Then I went back to studio. I took as that's bigger on two white pages to imitate the podium. And then I think I've been doing like 30 minutes playing around with the positioning of the shoe and just seeing what works. And then when I was like, okay, this is it, then I took a picture and I sent it to Nancy, but you can put the shoes like this. And that was that. That was the last communication. Then now we get communication again that okay final top 100. I'm okay, sure. Now we're in the top 7. You can't even say a thing. But to go to top 100, we finalist. So now we are playing this game of looking back. No one you understand?
Imagine that's literally that's like 1% now.
You know?
It's if you are if you are within the 7
Yeah.
of the 765 submissions, that's like impossible.
Yeah, yeah, like it was like, you know, for real. I think it took me a good 2 days to actually be like, okay, John, yeah, Pretoria. And in my head, I didn't even tell myself, "Ba, ndi winile." I was like, I climbed the Paku top 5, like I think you're right because I didn't have a phone at the time. I was robbed and I was, I was like, I think you're right. Sure. So now on the day of the event, we are there. So clearly about okay, so when they call your name, they're gonna play the short video of you talking and show your work and then you go to the stage. I was nervous. I don't know why I was nervous, but I was nervous because I don't like being in the limelight. Like I want to be in the, ghosts and stuff. I know how to disappear in a crowd. So now being in front of all these people, it was like quite, you know, overwhelming. Now they're calling people. Abizwa amagama qomba thina iyagcwala top 5 but andibizwa mna. I'm okay, 25K iza kum sure, like yeah. I'm good. And then I cried. I'm a crier. Like ndingumuntu onenyimbezo ezikufitshane. So now they announced the runner up. So now it's long since okay, jonga team ke runner up. And then they say Themba Mkhangeli. That's when it was like ding ding ding, girl, go
Yes.
owinileyo.
And the Tamba's submission was brilliant. The twins.
Yo,
I mean, how do you even do that?
like
Like the patience one has to go through to really detail,
that guy
the
is
hair,
that
the
guy is
jewelry, and
talented.
ah,
He's gifted.
mm,
It's I don't even know how to say, but it's mind blowing.
yes,
Like
yes,
the
yes.
detail. You understand? Like the detail. He's just using pen.
But
I can't even get my shading right with pencil. Imagine
and
a
thank God
pen.
you didn't do any
Thank
sketches or
God.
drawing.
Thank
You
God.
went
Because
straight to what you were
there's
good
no
at,
way.
which is great. Yes.
Nah, like if a pen wants you to be, because if you make a line, you ends the line. You can't go back and erase it. You understand? So now, that's when I started crying because now it was registering in my head. But going there. By the time igama lami libizwa sekudala ndikhala. I think if I had makeup on,
Could
ngisuke
have been.
yonke.
Maybe towards our conclusion, at
Yeah.
least for this one, I'm sure we're going to have you again in the future. Do you want to talk briefly as to what's going to happen this year with regards to the 100,000 worth of that prize? You're supposed to exhibit up in Pretoria, right?
Oh yes.
And have you planned anything, any dates?
Um, I'm still waiting on Sasol. They're gonna give me the dates of the because my exhibition will happen. I mean, announce I win as well. So I'm not gonna get the dates, but I am gonna be having my solo exhibition, first one,
Great.
like
Don't break
23.
any shoes.
So I'm thinking because I was also working on tables. I was carving on tables. So I'm still looking at the idea of actually doing a setup of the shoes and the tables. And I'm also thinking of including some of the prints because you can actually pull off some prints from the tables with printmaking. So I might have some prints along with the tables and the shoes. So I do have a number of shoes that I want to have maybe by June or August because I'm sure it is around September competition. So by August I want to have a solid thing. Otherwise, yeah, this year is solely working on that and also working on my honors because I also qualify for honors.
That's great. Who wouldn't take you for honors? At this rate, you'll be taken everywhere.
So
This is a great profile. I mean, to start
yeah,
with, to start your career, launch into literally an international platform.
yeah.
And I'm sure your dreams are
Yo,
blinding you right now. They're too
it's
bright.
too bright. I gotta have
The
shades on.
future is too bright.
Yeah,
And
and
Nosiviwe,
yeah, the name.
maybe as you conclude,
Yeah.
Nosiviwe, how did you zone into that?
Um, so when I submitted, you had to title the work, and I didn't have a title. So I was talking to my housemates, and then I was like, guys, ndicela niphi igama, like andiyazi uzibiza ngantoni izihlangu. So this one girl says to me, usifune njani izihlangu? Ndake ke bendiziqokelela so ndizinikwe ngabantu, like ndiziphiwe, yabo. And she was like, there's your title. And I was like,
Brilliant. Brilliant because bakuphile
because
bona,
yes,
but
that
also bona
and now
baphiwe.
bayaziphiwa ngabanye abantu.
It's really a hand-me-down kind of
Yeah, a
a
hand me down type
situation.
of thing. Yes, so that's how the name came about. So yeah, So this year, graduation, honors, solo exhibition. So it's going to be a hectic year. But yeah, I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
A great session with Nosiviwe, and I know we make a joke about Nosiviwe
Like
Matikinca.
all that. And it's people
But
do that, yeah.
Nosiviwe Matikinca, a great personality you can see, and we really hope to see more of you. You know, I can see you're going to be a feature of our lives in visual arts in the country and internationally for the next 100 years, because it's nog bloedjong, hè? It's nog bloedjong. It's no 23 jaar old. You did say you speak Afrikaans. So I'm sure in Pretoria they're going to test you out
Ooh,
when you go there. Thank you so much. Do you want to say anything to conclude? Maybe anything that you want to say as you say goodbye to everyone?
Okay, I'm just gonna say like just work towards your dreams, like work hard, stay consistent, pray a lot. Pray a lot, and if you want it, then it's already yours. So yeah, and you can do it. It's possible. Your dreams do come true. Yeah.
Nangoku amazwi uwaphiwe kuNosiviwe. Bye bye.